Hi, this is John Doe, aka Frags with the DNB Academy, and today we're gonna be making this sound. So yeah, let's flip the screen and get into Serum. Alright, so for this one we're gonna get a little bit weirder, and we gotta start off with the wavetables, alright? So we're gonna go to our S2 tables. We're gonna go with this really peculiar one called AT Further Moon Symmetry. Alright, it's really weird, but that's kind of what we need for this sound. It's things like this. Okay, so as you can hear, it's nothing that special just now. If we flick the wavetable position around here, it gets a little bit more interesting. Alright, cool. And then we need to start adding a bit more, to it. But first we need just to kind of like do a couple tweaks here and there. But it's going to be like, we're going to use all the oscillators we have besides the sub one. I guess that's what we're going to do for this patch. And then here we're going to go with one of the classic spectral ones, the Ricci Mass 5. All right, we're going to leave it the random phase like this. We're actually going to give it two voices for this one. Bring down the detune. This is kind of what we want. We're going to then individually set the warping. But for now, this is it. Then here, we're going to choose the granular wave oscillator. And for this one, we're also going to go into the factory brass. It's like kind of like up to you, because you also want the synths. We've got like really cool ones that kind of like emulate a brass. So for this one, you can actually go with this brass too. All right. And if you bring down an octave or two, you can hear it. But we kind of want to keep it like this for this sound up until now, all right? Because it's going to be all about the shape and the little filters and things we're going to add to it later. So first, let's tweak a little bit of the shape of our sound. So then we can go individually into our oscillators and just do the usual, the drill. So let's set this into an envelope and get this to 2 notes, all right? And then it's going to be something like this. I'm going to design like something that resembles like a saw kind of pattern, you know what I mean? Something like this. We can even keep it like with a bigger gap between both of them, something like this. It's just to achieve what I did on mine. Is just really up to you. Like this could work. So let's start assigning this to the level, for instance, of oscillator A. Right, cool. And now we're going to bring down the level of oscillator B. And this one, we're going to set this to ring modulation, all right, from the noise. But for that, we need to turn on the noise, bring down the level. See, we're bringing the noise a bit to the mix. And then here we're also going to choose the alternative warping, and we're going to go with the band plus a negative. Set this somewhere in like 50% here, negative 50. So we can already hear the tonality. Let's keep on assigning our LFO1, in this case also to the brass sample. We get it from the granular. I can actually scan this somewhere around here so we can get this cooler part of the sound. Nice. Here on the wavetable oscillator B, we can just use the filter to high pass this to get rid of some of those lower frequencies for when we're going to use this later. Nice. So it's turned off, but it's gonna be important. Also, let's assign this to the wavetable position. Also, we're trying to find parameters that can bring like cool movement to our sound, and I think we're getting there when it comes to that. Next step, let's filter this out. It's one of those patches that the filter is gonna lead pretty much what we're gonna do with the processing, so it's really important in this case. So let's choose one of our miscellaneous here and go with the comms. Is one of my favorite filters for many reasons, and we're gonna set it somewhere around here. I want to make sure we run all the oscillators through it. You see like starting to get there. And we're gonna assign this shape also here, but we want to keep this like both directions, like. We're gonna set the cutoff to 33. Then something like this should do the trick. All right, let's bring the drive up as well. The damp. And configure the resonance a bit. Tweak the high pass filter. We can just play around a little bit with the ring modulation here. From noise. See, it ends in a better spot like this. Just a matter of experimenting. But I like it the way it sounds. Now, let's beef this up on our effects tab on Serum. Let's flip the screen. We don't need much for this to work, but we need like the quintessential effects. You know, like a little bit of chorus. Let's bring this into high pass in this case. You see, just winds up the sound enough. Right, and now the distortion is going to pick up on that and just like crunch it up a little bit. So we're going to go with tube, which is like super blend. Cool. Now a little bit of compression. Should do the trick. Let's bring the mids. A little bit of the tops. Now just to take a another fill on the sound. Let's make this slower, like a bar long. See, it's pretty cool, you know. So now that we got this on the effects, let's go back to our oscillator. And you see, like this shape, now making it slower, we can just pretty much tweak the sound a little bit to make it a little bit different, you know. See, I like it like this, so I just pretty much switch the filter from one direction to bidirectional to one direction, so it just, you know, it just makes a really cool effect. And now, just to wrap it up, we're gonna go into our effects. We're gonna do the split, because I just want to apply like pretty much effects to our mids and highs. In this case, a little bit of reverb. And instead of plate, we're going to go with a vintage. Small size, we're going to low cut this. A little bit more of decay here. All right. And this is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.